Wolves are predators that live in deep forests, mountainous regions, and vast grasslands. They have a high ability to adapt to changing environments, especially when natural food sources become scarce. Wolves usually live in packs, but they can also separate to hunt alone when necessary. When survival conditions become difficult, they begin expanding their range far beyond their familiar habitat. In some cases, wolves may move closer to human settlements if they discover more accessible food sources in the surrounding environment. The appearance of wolves near residential areas usually occurs at night or in the early morning when human activity is limited. They move cautiously, often following natural trails, fences, or areas with vegetation cover to avoid detection. Wolves rarely cross open spaces because they can easily be spotted from a distance. They may appear alone or in small groups depending on feeding conditions. Their repeated return to the same routes shows that they have developed stable movement patterns around the area, making their presence increasingly noticeable over time. As wolves appear more frequently, residents begin noticing clear impacts on daily life and livestock farming. Livestock and poultry face a higher risk of being threatened, especially at night. Signs such as unusual noises and footprints around fences cause people to become more alert. Some households even have to change their daily routines to ensure safety. The presence of wolves not only affects property but also creates psychological pressure on communities living near forests. Therefore, monitoring and control become necessary to reduce long-term risks in the area. After identifying the activity zone, traps are deployed along routes that wolves frequently use. Locations near fences, trails, or areas with vegetation cover are prioritized because these places are more likely to show signs of wolf activity. The people carrying out the operation try to keep the surrounding environment unchanged to avoid altering the wolves' natural behavior. Bait is placed to increase attraction. At the same time, observation from a distance helps minimize human presence, preventing wolves from becoming wary and suddenly changing their travel routes within the controlled area. The main reason wolves return to this area is the decline of natural food sources in their habitat. When conditions in the forest can no longer provide enough resources, they are forced to move closer to human settlements to survive. Farms and livestock facilities become targets because they offer easily accessible food. After successfully finding food there, wolves tend to remember the location and return out of habit. This increases the frequency of their appearances, forcing residents to implement control measures to reduce risks in forest-adjacent communities. After a period of monitoring and control, a key moment occurs when observers record a wolf caught in a trap at the prepared location. The animal is held within the controlled area and can no longer move freely as before. The surrounding area shows clear signs of disturbance, reflecting the wolf's earlier approach. Observation is carried out from a safe distance to ensure no danger is created. This result demonstrates that the trap location matched the wolf's travel route and confirms the effectiveness of the entire control process in the area.
Going on 2 weeks. We fired one, man. It has been a tough area. February's all over for us. us, but this has been just absolutely slow. We got on a set post Bobcat here earlier on our video, one of our built, and remake. And when it's eating season, it's late season, they're just really not responding to dirt holes. Getting a little more.
It's like any other set. You always want your trap a little bit lower than ground level. Give this a roll.
The process of controlling wolves requires time, observation, and careful site selection. When movement patterns are well understood, the effectiveness of control measures can be significantly improved. This helps reduce risks to livestock and residential communities near forests. Maintaining monitoring efforts after control measures are completed is also important to ensure long-term stability and safety in the area.
Livestock areas located near forest edges, grasslands, or semi-wild regions are often directly affected by changes in the surrounding environment, as natural habitats gradually shrink due to expanding farmland and residential development. Food sources in the wild also decline. This causes wolves to expand their range in search of food closer to human settlements. Over time, they begin appearing more frequently around farms, small livestock areas, and places where leftover food is available. At first, these appearances are not very noticeable, but as the frequency increases, the pressure on livestock areas also grows over time. Signs of wolf activity become increasingly clear. At night or before dawn, they begin appearing near fences, livestock enclosures, or pathways around residential areas. Wolves move quickly and make very little noise before disappearing back into the darkness. On some occasions, they approach very close to livestock areas before quickly leaving when detecting unusual movement. Their repeated appearances gradually raise concern among local residents as the distance between wolves and human settlements continues to shrink. Wolves often travel along familiar routes such as trails, fence lines, or areas covered by vegetation to reduce the chance of being detected. However, their range of movement is not limited to narrow areas alone. While searching for food, they can still cross large open spaces if they sense a nearby food source. Their sharp awareness and ability to adapt quickly allow them to change direction flexibly depending on environmental conditions. Once they identify a favorable area, they often return repeatedly following the same habits. This behavior makes their movement patterns possible to monitor and predict after a period of practical observation. As the appearances continue repeatedly, control measures begin to be implemented instead of simply waiting. Hunters observe the movement routes and areas where wolves frequently appear in order to determine their primary range of activity. Trap systems are deployed across various types of terrain, such as trails, fence lines, and open areas within their movement range. During the setup process, bait is placed to increase the chance of attracting them closer. At the same time, hunters also prepare bows and arrows to provide support if necessary. Suitable hidden positions are selected to monitor the entire area without disturbing the surrounding environment. After the entire system is completed, the hunters maintain their distance and minimize noise within the area as much as possible. When night falls, the wolves begin appearing again along their familiar movement routes. Some approach the baited area and stop briefly to observe the surroundings before continuing forward. During their movement, they not only pass through narrow paths, but also cross wide open ground within their usual activity range. From hidden positions, the entire process is carefully monitored while waiting for the right moment. As the wolves move closer to the trap area, they step directly onto the calculated trigger point. The trap mechanism activates almost instantly once enough pressure is applied to the contact point. The entire process happens quickly, leaving little opportunity for reaction or changing direction. After the trap is triggered, the wolf is held immediately within the prepared area. The successful capture demonstrates that the deployment location matches both the wolves' actual movement routes and their familiar activity range. Controlling wolves is a process that requires time and patience rather than relying on a single action alone. When the entire process is maintained consistently and carried out properly, the ability to reduce risks to livestock and residential areas can improve significantly over time.